I haven't done much video on this truck, but I will give you some little insight into what I've been doing. So you saw the finished product before, and this is the second wheel. So I've had this laser cut, and basically I countersunk it with a giant drill bit in the lathe, which I cut my own countersinking angle, if you will, because it matches the nuts and the other wheel studs that go on, so that's centered. So I did that with the lathe. I've welded these little bits of threaded bar with them nuts on, because now what I'll do is I can have that on the floor like a little table that I can adjust the height here and everywhere. I just bashed my finger doing this last time, so if I get that on camera again, well, you're in for a treat. Like that, look. Yeah, so now it's probably sit here about 25 minutes, 4 different measuring devices to get it as centered as possible. But I did it with the first one. If you think that will very likely be out of line, you're probably not wrong, really. But the first one, I did this exact method. Tried a few different methods. I've got a laser level, I've got some rollers, I've got it mounted to the truck, I tried rolling it, and I got some turnbuckles, I tried that, welded on to different places so I could rotate them. None of it was working because the weight of the wheel was always like twisting it one way. This, where it's like leveled to the floor, seemed to work, and for the last wheel I've absolutely no issues. And with how slow this truck's going to go anyway, even if it was a slight out of balance, rotation, whatever you call it, a bit buckled, I don't think it'd even matter. But I'm going to try my best for it to not be. So I'll switch on to time lapse now while I do some measuring and whatever. You'll probably look at it and go, there's no way that's very accurate, and you're right, it's not accurate, but it's what I've got, and it's like I say, it worked last time. So yeah, I'll switch over. So there you have it. I seem confident enough with it, whether it's right or not, I don't know. And using what I learnt last time to try and help with this, I'd say I'm pretty confident with that. Is it accurate? I don't know. But it's tacked in. I've just welded a couple of little bits that if I need to cut it out, but I can just mount it onto the axle now and give it a spin. I do have, can't think of the word, the thing with the needle and the gauge that when something's off centre it goes whoop-a-doo-ba-doo, but I can't. I've got one of them. Tried that last time, and yeah, it actually, on the other wheel, it showed me that I was only a little bit out. So I could try it again on this one. You need a nice smooth area, which this is a little bit old and gruddy on the outside. So I'll make a shiny piece and give that a try. But for now, that's wheel number 2 done. And I've also changed my mind on the front end because I was going to use some of the original wheels, but I think they're a bit probably dangerous now. You can't get them 7-inch by, what are they, 750s by 20. You can, but they're expensive. I've got a set of modern 19.5s. These are 19.5s, but I've got a set of like the whatever the normal width ones are. So I'm going to get even more of these made, which I hadn't planned on doing, but they'll just be adapter plates, so I'll just have those holes and then the holes of the modern shape wheel, and yeah, so it wouldn't need lining up just like this. But anyway, yeah, I'll go give this a try and see how we go. Let's touch it to try it. Just where it pinches your fingers, be careful. Come on. In fact, oh no, done something wrong there. It's got to have these like bud type wheel nuts on, but because I'm going from twin wheels to singles, I'm using these on just as I guess spacers, and also so that it's got a taper on the back side, as well as whatever the wheel nuts are. Oh, they weren't on it before. They're over the back side of the shed. Oh, right in there. Anyway, I skipped ahead and put all them on. If you're from the States, you might be more familiar with these than here in the UK, but we have this special socket, I think they're called bud, where it's like a thimble. So that goes over the actual stud, and then typically with twin wheels, you put one wheel on, then put that on, then you put your second wheel on, and put that on. So that bit there, it's like a cup, kind of goes over the stud, that will be in between the two twin wheels. Obviously don't have that with this, just have one. So putting them on, that gives me a taper on that side, a taper on that side, see on the nut there, and that's what holds the wheel central. I am actually missing a wheel nut, and I'll tell you why. It's because I don't know actually, they're on the opposite side. Let's have a go. Go-karting. Let me move that bit closer, should I? So you can see. Ooh, loading muck. A4. Oh, I'm missing one. Why am I missing one? It's a wheel not missing. I did know that about the front because on the other side, these, see it's got R stamped in it, the right hand thread. On the other side, the left hand thread. I didn't know that when I was taking it apart, and ended up snapping one. That's not this side. I don't know why I missed one. Probably just fell down the side. I'll have a look for it. Anyway, hang on. Sorry about the wait. actually. So bought specifically, I've got a 3/4 inch drive and I've just got a 1/2 inch drive of the same socket, just so I can put it on here and zip it up fast. I can use the other one to tighten it. What we're doing, that's fine. Right, so I can set something up now and just see how off centre that is. I can tell already. I don't think it is at all. I know that's just me squinting with one eye, looking at the other, but I can already tell it's alright, that is. Look up there. Yeah, I think we'll be sound as a pound, mate. I've got this little gauge set up here, and I'll do a reading there, probably there, and then one on the face of it there. I've done a quick spin, and actually we're all right. I'll put a starting mark there, and you'll see what I'm going to do now. Basically, the little gauge there is 10 millimeters all the way around, and it's currently sat on 4. So 4 is the 0. That's the starting point. So as long as it stays at 4, if it goes under 4, it's higher than. Wait, what? No, less than. If it's over 4, basically 4 is 0. I can't get it to sit at 0 because I could, but it'll spend more time doing that than actually just doing the measurement. So 4 is 0, and I can 0 the outer one, which is each marking is 0.01 of a millimeter. So you'll see as I spin, what I'm trying to see is that little finger there stays on the 4. Remove the light, it might be a bit better to see. Oh god, no, I don't think I've got anywhere to put that. Oh god, I'm making a meal out of this. That's a bit better, isn't it? So as we can see, yeah, that needle needs to stay on 4. If it goes under by 1 or over by 1, I'll be okay with that. But basically, let's see how we go. So it's sticking around the 4 mark. It's dipping under the 4 mark. It's gone down to 3, so definitely a millimeter out there. But it is a little bit pitted there, so probably not the best place to use. And it's going back to 4. Hovering around 4. Oh, that was the mark. I went past it. So it's back on 4. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That basically was like, overall, I'd say from the 2 different extreme points, probably maybe just over a millimeter out. and some of that could be some of this corrosion here. So yeah, I'm alright with that. I'll move it now to, where should I move it to? This back bit here. Let's try that. Okay, we've got the back bit set up. Move this bloody stupid light out of the way. Right, okay. So 0 is my new 0. So let's see how far out that is. See, we've just gone backwards 1 millimetre, so it's a millimetre up there. Gone backwards 2 millimetres. We've gone backwards 2.5 millimetres. And I forgot to do a mark, but I think it was the same as this mark here. And we're back there. So 2.5 millimetres out there, which is, you know what that looks like, but I'm going to show you anyway. Bit more than that there. The gap that's in there is the difference between that, how out that is. So it's 1.75. Wait, what? No, 1.25 millimetre over this way and 1.25 millimetre over that way on that side. Not that that really matters, it's the overall number that matters. But you know what? Them big chunky tyres, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to try and light that up. You see how big the chunky tyre is over there? That 2.5 millimetres is just going to get absorbed by that, really. And I had read, let me put this on, sorry, I had read online that even, I think it was on the Triumph Spitfire forum, that someone on there was talking about custom wheels and whatnot. And I'm sure, it was a little while ago, I'm sure they said they allow even for a 5 millimetre, which I think was a lot, I thought was a lot. 5 millimetres of error, of off-centerness, that's the maximum they'd be okay with. And that's on a little wheel that, what them Triumph Spitfires like, that big. So 5 millimetres, I think, is, we're working at half that on a wheel that's probably 3 times, by the time the tyre touches the ground and is up here, probably 3 times bigger. So I think it'll be okay. I'm going to chance it. Also, we probably go a third of the speed than the Triumph would in this. I think we're all right. I'm not even going to bother measure the other stuff. I'm happy with it. Just to give you some idea of how wide I'm going with it, that's what it'll look like. In fact, I've got the complete wheel over here, already painted up and done. You might have already seen this previously, but that's what it's going to look like. That wide and that deep. That, my friends, is my hot rodding of this truck. Have you even seen this back end yet? I don't think you have. I'm just making this little frame that, just because the back looked a little bit bare. It was just these chassis rails. So I thought, well, I need a frame to hold a bumper and give it a little bit of body on the back end. So I had these laser cuts that were like a bit angled, like a muck spreader would be. I've cut these pipes at an angle so that they, just tilt back a little bit. I think it's cool. Somewhere to mount the lights. I've gone for these little bitty lights because I think that's super impractical, just like how a hot rod should be. They're not properly mounted yet. Everything's still a bit, just tacked together. Also gave it this bit of plate here because it just fills it out, makes it look a bit A bit more going on. It wasn't so sparse. It'll look better once it's outside, or you know, you can see the full profile of the thing. And yeah, so I'd made that, and I think it's pretty cool. It just needs finishing off now, zipping up all the wiring properly, working out, and I've got some mudguard brackets on that side for the super wide mudguards. I don't know if you've seen. I've got these mudguards that I've cut down the middle, rip, and widened, rip, to fit over the big tyre, rip. That side's all mostly done. It just needs, again, it's all tied together, just needs finishing off welding. Whereas this side is lagging behind a little bit. At some point, I'm going to drop the axles off from the carriers, from the spring carriers, and the shackles, if you will. And I'm going to take a few out, just so it gets a bit of a softer ride. It's very hard because it's never going to really have weight on here. Not the weight it was built for anyway. And also see if it'll lower down a little bit, and same in the front. Get a little bit of height down in the front. Might have to do some jiggery pokery with the beam, the axle beam on the front, but whatever, that's a different day's thing. But yeah, so this back end, the wheel cylinders, I've got one out here. Yeah, I did kind of get a recondition kit, and I honed them out, and these are the original ones, but they didn't take. So they just spewed the guts everywhere every time, and it's what a nightmare. They are super hard to find on the internet, super hard to find, and the only place I could find on the internet, you're going to say, oh, you could buy them in such and such shop in America. You cannot. They are not anywhere. I actually found them on Amazon US, which brand new ones. They were £29 each, and because I pay Amazon Prime, they were free shipping. So they brought them in for free, no customs stuff, none of that palaver. And it did take 3 or 4 weeks for them to get here, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And I only bought 2. Typically, I mean, originally, there was 2 cylinders on each wheel. But I think that's a bit excessive for the setup I've got, because I've put my own master cylinder on, the modern master cylinder, came off an Isuzu. The 2 rear brake cylinders, I think, took too much fluid to work. So I tried one with one, and I've made my own like blanking extension so that you can adjust the other side rather than have a cylinder on, and that worked. So now I've matched up and done the other side. So we've each only got 1 cylinder on now, and by the time I've just put the brake reservoir tank back on, I'll give it a try, see if I can get them adjusted up and working, and then the brakes should be all sorted, because they've been a right bloody pain in the arse of the brakes. But yeah, I think I'm on the right side of it now anyway. I'm not the best welder in the world, but that'll do. Done both sides. It seems okay to me. What a bloody ding dang do that was. Only got 1 tyre lever, 1 little hammer. I'm going to go and get the rest of it. But I think it's such a short profile and thick, heavy rubber. Bloody hell. Anyway, it's on now. And yeah, next bit.